Following our investigation into corrupt practices in the car repair industry. Tonight, even more evidence from a whistleblower who shows how the cost-cutting practices of insurance companies is helping to put unsafe cars back on the road. Laura Sparks reports.
You get insurance and you expect them to look after you, or they just take advantage of you.
This competition is a problem once it goes below a certain standard, and then it starts affecting the product, and the product is basically your vehicle.
It took a lone voice in the cutthroat world of the car repair industry to spark an avalanche of whistleblowers, now ready to tell all.
They don't care about anything. They don't care about the safety of the people.
On Monday night, small-time car repairer Sash blew the whistle on assessors working for insurance giant Amy, who were demanding kickbacks in return for work. He claims to have paid out nearly $400,000 to corrupt assessors over nearly 4 years.
They just wanted the car to go in and out. They just wanted to get the kickbacks off the cars.
So are cars being put on the road today that are unsafe?
Definitely. Definitely. Make sure
Maury Kowarski is a second-generation Melbourne smash repairer with 27 years' experience in the industry. He's about to blow the whistle on another Amy practice, which appears to be in breach of the industry's own national code of conduct.
When you start cutting costs, you've got to cut corners.
So how does this complicated system work? Well, in any Amy assessment centre, there's two groups of cars. The vehicles at fault in an accident and those not at fault. Now, both sets of vehicles are covered by Amy. But when it comes to the vehicles not at fault, Amy doesn't have to pay for those repairs. That's the job of the driver at fault's insurance company.
The at-fault vehicles, you pretty much had to quote them very competitive in a competitive environment.
Cheaply?
Very cheap. And the non-at-fault vehicles were basically open book. So this is like a payoff system type of thing.
So basically quote cheaply on the cars Amy has to pay for, and on the cars they don't have to pay for, quote what you want.
It's fair and reasonable.
So those cars would subsidise the costs that you lose out on with the at-fault vehicles that you have to quote cheaply for.
We expect it to subsidise. That's the only way you could do it.
He worked under this Amy system run by its assessors for 3 years. In the end, he ended the relationship.
My strike rate, for instance, at the centre wasn't always what you call within their range of percentage, the winning streak.
So you weren't quoting cheaply enough?
I wasn't, no.
There are only band-aid repairs. Cosmetically, they're repaired. They look OK to the untrained eye. But if you pull the vehicles apart, you'd be horrified with what you find.
Tony Madako runs the International Vehicle Integrity Centre in Melbourne. Customers unhappy with car repairs from insurance companies visit his centre for an independent structural report.
Approximately 90–95% of the vehicles we've tested here failed. Those vehicles have to be taken off the road.
So this is the spacer, as you can see, because it's not straightened. The door didn't shut.
None of this surprises Nancy Kim. Last year, her car was involved in a head-on collision. The other driver, insured with NRMA, was at fault. But because Nancy was insured with Amy, it was towed to the local assessment centre.
And when I asked them, had it been assessed, they said that it hadn't been assessed yet.
So they'd just sent it off to a repairer of their choice?
Yep.
And it had only had one quote, obviously?
Yep.
It seems Nancy's car was one of the many cash cows handed out to repairers. Nancy wasn't at fault, so the driver at fault's insurance company had to pay. All up, $15,000 was spent on her car that was insured for just $20,000. Yet Nancy still wonders how that money was spent.
All up, the repairer charged $9,500 worth of parts. When we asked for invoices to prove that, they were only able to provide $1,200 worth of invoices from Mazda.
So what happened to the rest of the invoices?
I don't know if they bought it, whether they repaired it, whether they even used it.
Amy said in a statement to Today Tonight that it does not ask for cheap quotes. It asks repairers to provide a complete quote to properly repair the vehicle. The company says it ensures that all repairs authorised are appropriate, justified and meet Amy's benchmarks in respect of quality, timeliness and cost.
So this is a result of cheap quotes?
Cheap quotes which lead to cheap repairs.
The Motor Traders Association's Senior Division Manager, Greg Colley, has drawn to Amy's attention many times examples of unsafe repairs.
When the vehicles have been inspected, it has been identified that parts have been charged for, yet not fitted as per the invoice supplied to Amy. When Amy was made aware of this situation, Amy chose to do nothing about it.
Did they strike the repairer off their list?
No, the repairers are still working for them.
Amy is the only car insurance company in Australia that doesn't allow you, the consumer, to choose your repairer.
The whole system and the way that one assessor has all the power to identify how much work or to allocate work to your business or away from your business actually breeds the possibility of corruption. It's very fertile for corruption to evolve and to grow.
We have to regulate the industry, and this is why we face these type of issues. And without regulation, we'll just keep going backwards at the detriment to the customer.